What's up guys, and welcome back once again to Dance Reviews Tech. Today I'm checking out a new keyboard. This is the Fun60 Ultra from Monsgeek. They do a Pro and a Max version as well, but this is the Ultra version I have. I have the wide version, and they also do a tri-mode wireless version as well. Today I'm going to check this out, give you a quick look over it, sort of the quality of it, things like that, show you the RGB features and talk about all the features it has, and then we're going to get it plugged in, show you the software that you use, and obviously then we'll give you a sort of conclusion at the end. So stick with me guys. Let's go do it. Right, so as I said at the start, this is the Fun60 by Monsgeek, sent to me via Acco, I believe they're the same company, but it doesn't really matter. So this is a mechanical keyboard, but it's also a Hall effect keyboard, so using magnetic switches, which is really, really good. This is the Fun60 Ultra. They do it in a Pro, I think, as well, and then a standard version. I think the Ultra is basically 8K and stuff like that, but I'll put a link in the description below for you to see basically the differences between them. So you've got an idea of basically what you want out of it, whether you want this one or you want the ones below it. You'll also be able to see on the website the prices of it. I think it goes for about $49.99. That's just for the Pro or the Max. So for the Ultra, it ranges from $59.99 to $89.99, depending on the options you choose. I'm not entirely sure what those options are. I believe it's going to be switches and stuff like that, which type of switches you want to include with this. I've got the, I'm not sure which one I've got, to be honest with you, but we'll have a quick look at what we've got after this. So yeah, you've got different options available to this one, but this is the Fun60 Ultra, like I say, available in Pro and Max as well. So let's take a look at this. Quick look over the box. There's not really much to show you on this. Yeah, there's no information or anything on it, so we'll just get on with getting the keyboard out. Slide that sleeve off, and you've presented with the box itself. And then as you can see, this is it, nicely packaged as they have been all in the past. Take that off, lots and lots of packaging. As you can see, it's a 6% keyboard. I'll have a quick look at that in a second. And then you've got all your manual and stuff like that to use it for different things, whatnot. It's tri-mode as well, so it can do wired, Bluetooth and wireless. And then let's have a quick look at the accessories pack, see what you get in here. So you get a switch puller, you get a USB-C to A cable, and you also get a keycap puller, and that is your lot in there. So let's have a look at the keyboard. Again, wraps up really, really nicely, keeping it really well protected. Now this is a full aluminium shell on this one. I've got the black PBT caps on this one, so it's all black, all blacked out, and hopefully you can see there it's side written on the fronts of them. So instead of on the top, it's on the fronts of them. So the actual keycaps from the top are blank basically, but I think it looks really, really nice. It is an all aluminium shell. It's really, really heavy, considering it's a 60% keyboard. It's absolutely solid and really, really heavy. It looks absolutely lovely. On the back, it's just plain. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet with it being aluminium, but that's just part and parcel of everything really. So yeah, this is the Ultra wired. Oh, sorry, I've got the normal version. I've just got the wired version. I haven't got the wireless one, but they do it in a wireless as well. I've got the wired version, not a problem at all. And then that's the keyboard. There's not really much more to show you on it. We'll get it plugged in a minute so you can see the RGB effects. I've also got this little sort of loop on the side there. I'm not really sure what that's for. I don't think you're going to want to hang that off your neck, but it's got that there if you need it. But yeah, it absolutely weighs a ton. Unfortunately, there's no sort of adjustment to lift it up at all, so maybe you want to buy some sort of riser if you need to lift it up, but it's not at a bad angle at all. So let's do a quick sound test while we're here. Now this keyboard is also, like I said, it's a magnetic switch. It's cross-compatible with popular magnetic switches, so the major manufacturers of magnetic switches can also go in there, so it's hot swappable. So you can take them out, the 5-pin mechanical switches can go in there. And it's a 0.01 return for superior gaming, so it's really, actuation is really, really light on this, so it's absolutely great for, should be great for gaming. It doesn't come with a sort of driver or anything like that. It is a web driver, which is I quite like to see, which means you can use it on any PC anywhere. As long as you've got access to the internet, you can get on the web driver. Probably don't even need to get on the internet, I'm not sure, but you can access it directly through your browser and change everything. It's got 32-bit Cortex M4 processor in here. Like I say, it's cross compatible, it's Hall effect, ARGB, and it's all CNC aluminium or aluminum if you're American. It's a 8K polling rate, and it's also got onboard memory, so any profile you set up in here will be stored directly on the keyboard, so when you take it somewhere else, your memory will already be there. So the 0.01 is actually called rapid trigger on this. Again, that's meant for your gaming, so it should help with your gaming in terms of responses and things like that. And it's also got adjustable actuation distance on it as well, so you can change that. So one of the really good things about a Hall effect keyboard, you can change pretty much everything in terms of the travel of the keys, how you want it to respond in terms of when it actuates and when it doesn't. The ARGB on it should look amazing. It's a 500 Hz refresh rate on this as well, so it should be pretty nice and smooth and quick at changing and everything like that. I assume you'll be able to change that on the software. We'll have a look at that in just a second. It's also got demagnetized stabilizers in the spacebar and things like that to obviously help stabilize that key. And yeah, it should work absolutely fantastic. The spacebar on its own sounds absolutely incredible. Really, really like that. And it's available with different switches on when you purchase it. You can choose which switch you want in it. I'm not sure which one I've got in it. Like I say, it doesn't actually say on the box. I can't remember what one they sent to me. So what we'll do is we'll pull a keycap off, and we can see if we can tell by the colour of it. So let's just take this H key off the middle, and we'll have a quick look. And as you can see, we've got sort of a turquoisey blue colour there, which I believe, looking at it, is the Acco Glare magnetic switch. So these are ultra rapid trigger gaming switches. Comes with extra pins for stabilization, reverse polarity, and closed bottom for a better sound profile, as you can hear. Sound absolutely lovely. On these keycaps, like I say, we're able to change them, but I'll just tell you about these ones I've got. The total travel is 3.4 mil, initial force is 25 grams, and the actuation force is at 2 mil is 40 plus or minus 5. End force is 48. Maximum initial magnetic flux, if you need to know any of this, is 95 plus 15. Bottom is 589 plus 50. This means absolutely nothing to me, but it might be to you. And the top stem and bottom is PC, POM and PC, and it's an LED diffuser built into it as well. And I can also get this with a standard Hall effect or with a TMR sensor, which basically takes precision to the next level. You just can mix and match magnetic switches, any 5-pin mechanical switches freely like never before, so you can basically have different switches in different keys depending on how you want them. You can have just the WASD as magnetic switches and leave the rest as mechanical for a classic sort of type. So if you want, you can have mechanical in part of it and magnetic in the other. So WASD could be magnetic and the rest could be mechanical, which obviously gives you massive customization for this keyboard. So if you want to set it up exactly how you want it, then that's something you can do. And as mentioned before, you can obviously customize all the actuation force and everything like that. So that's enough talking about this. Let's get it plugged in. Let's have a look at the RGB on it, and then we'll have a quick look through the software and see what sort of stuff you can change on it. So let's go and have a look. So as you can see now, we've got it plugged in, and you can hopefully see the RGB on this. This is just a sort of static rainbow, so it's sort of rainbow from one side to the other, but it's static, and you can see the letters light up nicely on the sides there. So what we'll do is we'll get the software plumbed in, and we'll have a quick look at what the RGB can do, and then we'll have a quick look at the software itself and what that can do. So let's have a quick look at the lighting. At the moment, like I say, it's all on, always on, which is, as you can see, just sort of a rainbow with always on. We can go to breathe, which will just breathe on colours, or dazzle. It's on at the moment. We go colour and then change the colours to what we want. We'll leave that dazzle, which basically just cycles through them all. We can increase the speed on it, so you can see it does it a bit faster now. So once we go from breathe and go to meteor, which then obviously goes across the keyboard. You can change the brightness as well if you need to, but we'll leave it up at high so you can see it better. Again, you can do that on whatever colour you want. We go to ripple. That is going to be, as you type, you get different colours come across as you type. Aurora, which is just, as you can see now, left to right from both sides. Raindrop, we've got lots of different ones here which you can mess about with. I just want to give you a quick sort of idea. These all converge in the middle. That's converge mode. Steady stream, again, that's going from all the way across, back left to right, backwards again. Neon, which is not really sure what that's doing. That's just colour sort of change. Wave, there's absolutely tons on here. Yeah, so we're not going to go through them all. We're just going to show you a quick go through on these, and then we'll go endless. Let's just see what that does. That keeps going. and that's obviously, you can speed that up, and as you can see, it's really, really smooth with that 500 hertz refresh rate. Hopefully you can see that nicely on there. So that's some of the lighting effects you can do. You can obviously mess around with those as much as you want and see what you can do. Now let's have a quick look at the software and how it works. So this is the software here. So we'll go to main, and we've got basically all the different options. You can be able to set up combinations, so kind of like a macro type thing, but with a Control Alt Shift and Windows key, you can make different things of those. You've got macros over here again, which is doing your obviously normal macros. You can do media settings, so you can use your function key and other stuff to control your media. You can do mouse settings, so you can make it do mouse clicks and stuff like that, I assume. And you've got per key sort of adjusting up here. You can literally disable it, reset it, change what it does, everything like that. You've got different layers that you can go through, so you've got absolutely tons of configuration. If you go to FN setting, then that basically shows you what everything's set up as in terms of using the FN key and what different things do. That's obviously, again, to change it so it does different things with your FN key. And obviously, as you can see, you can set up all the different keys there to do different things. Macro, again, is a full macro list where you can add your own macros, set everything up there. We've been through the lighting one. You've got presets, you've got custom, you've got my work, so you can do per key lighting and everything like that as much as you want. So pretty much everything. You've got my work here. I assume this is where you can save stuff and whatnot. You can upload them and stuff so people can use them as well. Share, you can share your light settings, you can share your normal settings, you can share your macros, and then you've got profile, which obviously you can log in and register, and then you've got your about, which tells you what firmware version. You can upgrade your firmware, you can change from auto to English to Chinese to whatever you need as well, and then obviously log in and register up there. And as you can see, it's connected via the cable. Now obviously I have the wired version to do in a tri-mode version as well, which also can do Bluetooth and wireless as well. Whether you can do all of this via wireless, I don't know. You might have to plug it in, I'm not sure. But that's something you can hopefully find out on their website through the link I'll provide. Now in this main menu, you've got a remap, you've got a custom actuation. So this basically can set all the different keys here. You can have them however you want them to actuate. If you obviously want to go into that sort of level of customization, you can change every single key in terms of their actuation force and when they deactuate on the way up. So as you can see here, you've got 2 mil down, 2 mil up, so you can change the sort of levels at which they go. Switches setting, you've got different switches here. So I assume that's basically to tell the keyboard what switches you've got. It says after replacing switches, select the corresponding key, which I believe I've got the Jade Gaming ones by the looks of it. So that's there for that as well. So you calibrate it to those so it knows what it's doing with the switches. Then you've got advanced settings, which again, you've got your combination, your macro, mod tab, toggle key, all different settings you can sort out. And then you've got obviously, I assume these are different actuations over here in terms of different things you can do. Let's see what happens if I say not selected. I don't know what that does, to be honest with you. That's something you have to go into deeper. And then SOCD, snap key, bind to selected keys when both keys are pressed at the same time. The last selected technique key prevails. So yeah, you can do that as well. And then we've got other settings, which is retrieve current settings. So you've got absolutely tons of stuff you can do on this in terms of customization. So if you want to really get into depth in terms of setting this up how you want it, so maybe you want your WASD keys, a different actuation to the rest of them, so the rest are normal sort of typing. But then again, you can also have different layers, so you can have a layer for gaming, a layer for typing, that kind of stuff, if you're going to be using this for work and for play. You've got absolutely tons of stuff you can do on this. Absolutely fantastic, really, really good, and really sort of self-explanatory in the software, which is, like I say, is a web driver. And yeah, you can access it pretty much anywhere as long as you've got this web driver available. So I'll do a quick typing test. I did this, obviously it's not going to be fantastic because it depends on how good I am at typing, which is not very. But we'll do a quick typing test and we'll see how we get on. But obviously this is a new keyboard to me, so it's going to be a bit different to what I'm used to, so I might not be great. So let's just do a 30-second test, medium text, start test. So I'm not very good at typing, so oh, straight away. Let's just stop that and try again. So let's do a quick typing test. And yeah, really short test, 30 seconds. My results will be absolutely terrible because I'm just not very good at typing generally. But like I say, this is a brand new keyboard to me, so it is obviously going to take some getting used to. And as you can see, my typing speed is only 29 words per minute, 100% accuracy. So yeah, that's that really. So let's go back up top and we'll have a talk about what I think of this keyboard. So the Monsgeek Fun60 Ultra is what I have here, and I'm very impressed with it in terms of build quality. It's absolutely fantastic. It's completely CNC'd aluminium or aluminum. It's got magnetic switches which are hot swappable. Can also be replaced with standard mechanical switches, so you can mix and match them, which I've not seen. I don't know if it's possible on other keyboards that are Hall effects, but I've not seen that yet. It probably is possible, I'm not sure, but this is the first one I've seen where they've actually said that it can do that. But yeah, it's actually hurt my arm holding it, so I'm going to put it down for a second because it's really heavy. But yeah, absolutely fantastic build quality. Really easy to use. Lots and lots of features. It is only a 60% keyboard, so it's not going to be for everyone. I'm not sure if Monsgeek do a normal one. So basically, have a look at their website and see if they do. In fact, I think I've just got one of their keyboards. I think it's a Hall effect version of one I've done previously, but that will be coming in an upcoming video. That might be an Acco keyboard actually, but I think they're the same company anyway. However, as a keyboard, absolutely fantastic. You saw my typing test. I'm not very good at typing as it is. So that's obviously not a true test of this keyboard, but it doesn't feel bad to type on. Personally, I like it. I've had a bit of adjustment on sort of lifting it up for a different angle. But again, you could always get some sort of riser to make that possible, and a wrist rest or anything like that to make it easier for you to type if that's something you prefer. But yeah, like I say, magnetic switches which hot swap. You can change all different ones. You can use all the major brands with this. It doesn't have to just be the Acco or Monsgeek switches. You can use whatever magnetic switches you can get your hands on. I believe other big companies are starting to do them now. I think even Cherry might do them now as well. So you've got that availability for many different switches and things like that. And yeah, so it should be absolutely fantastic for gaming. I'll probably pin a comment at some point once I've had a good go at this in terms of using it for gaming and things like that. And we'll see how we got on with it, and I'll let you know. If you have any questions about this, and obviously don't forget to ask in the comments. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. I can always ask Monsgeek myself directly. Obviously, I have a contact with them to basically clear up any questions if needs be. But as a keyboard, as a gaming keyboard for a really small 60% keyboard, I can't see why you'd buy anything different, to be honest with you, in terms of the price. Really decent price as well. Excuse the ice cream van outside if you can hear that. But yeah, really good keyboard. Really happy with it. Does a fantastic job. The RGB looks incredible, and the software's really easy to use as well, and there's lots and lots of customization. So if you're looking for a keyboard where you can customize everything, then this one could be for you. But obviously, like I say, if you want a bigger one, then go look on their website and see if they've got one for the size you want. You may want a full size, you may want a 75%, something like that. So go and have a quick look on there. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again to Monsgeek for sending this over for me for review. And please don't forget to like the video if you did like it, and leave any comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.